VIABI's fiber optic firmware release 21.0 features a redesigned user interface. This video shows how to use the OTDR module as an optical power meter using this new software. To follow along, you will need a T-BERD 5800 or MTS 5800 with fiber optic software release 21.0 and a 4100 series OTDR module with the E41 OTDR PM power meter option. Fiber optic cleaning and inspection tools are needed to ensure all end faces are clean. To measure optical insertion loss, you also need an optical light source. After starting your test set, tap the fiber icon at the top of the screen to operate the OTDR. If a purple greater than sign is displayed on the left side of the screen, tap it to display the OTDR home screen. Then tap the power meter icon. The same user interface is used to operate the OTDR as a light source or a power meter. The top part of the display is used to control the light source, while the bottom portion is for the power meter option. Light source is a standard feature on most OTDR modules, while power meter is an option. The power meter has two primary settings, wavelength and unit. Wavelength can be set to any wavelength supported by the OTDR module. My OTDR supports 1310 nanometer, 1490 nanometer, 1550 nanometer, and 1650 nanometer wavelengths. Your OTDR may support different wavelengths. Unit can be set to watts or dBm to measure absolute power, or to dB to measure optical insertion loss, or relative power. I will first demonstrate how to measure absolute power. I have already cleaned and inspected my OTDR port, patched cable and fiber under test. Set my wavelength to match the fiber under test and set unit to dBm. When I connect to the fiber under test, the power level is shown in the large font in the center of the screen. I will now demonstrate how to measure optical insertion loss, or relative power. Before doing so, the power meter has to be referenced to an optical light source. The power meter and light source should be connected side by side by one of the pictured methods. Two cable references are commonly used for telecom applications. One cable references are commonly used in enterprise applications for increased accuracy on short spans. Three cable references are commonly used for fiber to the antenna applications and for enterprise applications when there are dissimilar connector types on the power meter, light source, or fiber under test. Once connected, set the optical light source to emit a continuous waveform at the desired wavelength and turn on the laser. Set the wavelength of your power meter to match the light source. If the unit of measure for the power meter is set to dBm or watts, the absolute power level is shown in the large font in the center of the screen. Set the unit of measure to dB and tap the standard ref button to set your reference. The power level will change to 0 dB. Set the optical light source to the next wavelength you wish to test and repeat the process to set the reference for that wavelength. Once all the wavelengths have been referenced, disconnect the reference cables from the coupler. Do not disconnect the reference cables or power off the units until all optical insertion loss testing is complete. If the power meter or optical light source is powered off or the reference cable is disconnected, you should reference the power meter and optical light source again. We're now ready to connect to the fiber span under test. Connect the power meter reference cables to one end of the span and connect the light source to the other, after inspecting and, if necessary, cleaning all connections. Tap the wavelength drop-down in the Power Meter on Module section and select the wavelength to test. Confirm that the optical light source laser is on and is sourcing the selected wavelength. You can view the relative power in the large font in the center of the screen. Tap the Keep Result button to add the measurement to the results table. Repeat these steps for all wavelengths to be tested. Then disconnect the reference cable from the fiber under test. If you wish to save a report, tap the Setup soft key and tap Link to view link settings. Configure link settings to match the fiber under test. Tap the setting you wish to edit and enter the new value on the keypad. Tap File to view file settings. Set PDF file to Yes in the Report As settings. Set your desired file name format in File Settings. You can use the Auto/ABC button to toggle between text and automatic insertion of configured link settings. To save the report, tap the File soft key to view the File Explorer and browse to or create the directory for report storage. Tap Exit to return to the results view. Tap the Save soft key and tap Check to save the report. Tap the X in the top right corner of the results table to clear results before testing the next fiber.